Hello everybody, this is Kevin with Evolve. Today I'm going to give you a very quick overview and get started for the new Barco Encore3. So I'm running Event Master Toolset version, I don't remember, version 10.1.0. This is the latest and greatest version at the moment, but let me show you what's new. The setup is a little different from E2 or version 9.2, so let me get you up and running. So when you first launch the Event Master Toolset, you have this new pop-up here to add a new device. A new device can be a live system over IP address or a simulator. With Event Master 10, there is no difference between a simulated system and an online system, so any show on any sim can open on a live unit, any show on a live unit can open on a sim. So I open up my configurator. We can go into the nuances later, but the way it essentially works is you have a series of fixed input cards versus what we call flex cards versus output cards. So your first card, for example, could be a input card or it could be a link card. If we're not linking, then it does not help me to have a link card, so I can customize this with an input. The next two connectors are inputs only. If I try to assign an output, it won't work. And then my remaining four are what's referred to as flex cards, meaning these can be inputs or outputs. Nifty. So the system can really do just about what you want. Other things that are kind of fun is any available output card can be an output card. I don't have to do inputs versus outputs. We can do a whole lot of fun things on that, but we can save that for a different time. Let me see. Let me just get myself back up to a standard quote unquote show. I'll do this and then I'll put myself back to a link card. If you buy an Encore 3, that's how you'll have it. This is a TCO and I apologize for this. Should have come more prepared. Good enough. Let me give myself a TCI card. Good enough for government work. I'm going to hit reset and launch simulator. Instantly takes me back to the configuration page. And here's my Encore 3. As always, I'll drag and drop. So we already noticed a couple new things. First off, the software looks really nice. It will scale to your resolution of your laptop. And I can zoom in and out. I can hold the control key in my scroll wheel and zoom in and out. Really cool. But you're going to notice that system automatically builds 8 screen destinations for me. Nice. One of the biggest questions I always get from people is, well, what if I don't want that? No worries. So the first thing I want to show you to do is we're going to delete these. So you're going to notice that the system's set up a little differently now. Rather than having a vertical tree, everything's done on a horizontal matter. Unit is my Encore 3. Input is all my input sources. Output is going to be screens, aux, or multiviewer. And then files is where I can do custom edids and formats. So under outputs, under screens, I see all 8 of my screen destinations. Encore 3 adds a plethora of hotkeys and shortcuts. I can hold Control and click multiple ones, or can you hit Control A, select all, delete the screens. Nice. So in this video, once again, this is just a very, 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 very quick down and dirty overview. So I'm going to show you how to build screens, essentially how to build a multiviewer, and how to build a couple presets really quick. So screens now can be done very easily. There's this new setup wizard here where we have LED or projection. Let me kind of show you how it works. So let's say I want to build an LED screen. I'm going to call it LED screen. Very creative. What resolution will the connector need to be? I'm going to give myself a UHD connector. Now, though, oftentimes we know we're using area of interest on LED. So while I'm sending 3840 2160, maybe my LED wall itself is only 2600 by, let's say, 1600. So now what I can do is I can do this a couple different ways. I can either drag and drop a connector onto this block here, or I can select a connector and then click on this block. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to hold my SDI, click the output. Notice it binds SDI connector to it. The connector turns blue. I hit create screen destination. Now watch what happened. When I did that, it created the screen for me already, assigned 4 4K mixing layers, and set up the area of interest for me. Whoa, super cool. If I want to send a test pattern button's now been moved to the upper right-hand corner, and I can have that be on all outputs or on my screen. So I can easily flash that, and yeah, that's available on the OLED on the Encore 3 as well. There are ways to manage your layers. For example, I can borrow layers from screens I'm not using. I'll get into that in a different video. For those who are really curious, here's where you can do it. So I can go up to 16 4K mixing layers on this one screen. Dang. But let me show you projection. So let's say I'm going to do a widescreen blend. Each connector will be 1920 1080, and let's say I'm doing, let's say I'm going to do 2 projectors with a 600 pixel overlap. So notice I have the 2 connectors here, 600 pixel overlap, and tells me our horizontal resolution is 3240 1080 already. Nice. So I'm going to use these bottom 2 SDI connectors. I'm going to drag one over and drag the other. One important note, you can only use 4 output connectors per cards for screens. Yes, I can do connector copying and use all 6, but on the tri-combo output card, I can use any connectors I want. Notice that they're disabled, but all I gotta do is just use them. Hit create screen destination. Here's my blend, and sure enough, it does the overlap for me already. Wow. Now the cool thing is I can always come and modify this. So if you're an old school Barco user, no worries. You can still do everything the way you want it to. Nice. For inputs, I only need to build them on the simulator. On a live system, Encore 3 will automatically recognize any connected sources. The connector turns green, and you can use it right off the bat. So this next process is really only on the simulator. So I'm going to build a single HDMI. I will build a 2 input screen here for like a background. This way, this thing called group input, you'll like that. And I'll do an SDI as well. I'll call this camera 1. I'll call this graphics 1. And then I'll call the group, I'll just call it playback. It'll be a media server. Cool thing is I can still use the individual connectors. So I'm going to call this playback 1. I'll call it, 1A. Playback 1B. Cool. So as we look at the left-hand side, so first off, save has been moved. Save all, save often. The next tab is going to be the multi-viewer tab. So you can have up to 2 different multi-viewers. The way it works is each multi-viewer has 10 layouts. Layout 1's built for you automatically. This is going to show you all your previews, all your screens, all your sources, everything you can want to see. If you want some more customization though, go into layouts and away you go. We now have the ability to arm and disarm multi-viewers. We can build what we call multi-viewer presets or multi-viewer presets. I'll show you those in a different video or else this one will be 2 hours long. However, you notice that there's no physical output connector assigned for the multi-viewer. The way it works is the system will create 2 multi-viewers for you. The multi-viewer is automatically usable as a source. So I can use this on a screen, I can do an aux, or I can make an output connector my multi-viewer. Encore 3 allows me to use any connector I want as a multi-viewer. So for example, I want to use multi-viewer 1. So I have my connection block here. I'm going to use an SDI connector. I like SMPTE, apply changes, and boom. I've applied that. I just realized I did multi-viewer 2. So let me just delete that. Multi-viewer 1, drag, drop, good. So now I got my multi-viewer. See how it's a slightly different color? Cool, 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 cool. Programming. So programming is done in a very similar way to E2. We have a lot of control of our screen sizes, which is really, really nifty. As before, I can always reorder my screens, and it's very, very nice. So I did not have to do anything on layers, didn't have to assign them. That's done for me automatically. Really nice. So under my input list, I now have all my input sources. I'm going to create a thumbnail for me, which is going to be really cool. So notice all I have to do to create thumbnails, remember all the thumbnails we used to do before? All I got to do is select a color of a source, and the thumbnail automatically applies based on what this is a massive source here. Let me do, talk about that. Let's do this one, camera 1. Nice. So look how it automatically creates that source for me. So you're going to notice that I was not able to drop that previous source in. Not a problem. The reason why is this is an 8K source or 8K wide. I can use it as a background, however, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So same rules apply. I can drag and drop sources into my preview page, create my composition, and when everything's happy, hit All Trans and switch it. If you're using E2, just note Cut and All Trans has swapped positions here. With every layer, of course, I have the ability to clear them, and Encore3 allows you to multi-select. So if I have quite a lot of layers, I can select them both, hit clear. You'll probably notice that I have these little layer buttons here. If I have a lot of layers on screen, and I don't know which layer is which, I can actually hover, and it's going to show me where each layer is. How cool is that? I can also click these layers here and select them, as well as select them all on the page. Of course, Barco gives you what we call an unscaled background. So the days of native backgrounds are gone. So now how it works is any source can be used as a background on any screen regardless of the resolution. The one catch is you just can't scale it, but I can shift it. So for example, I can take my 7680x2160 source, drag it here onto the background screen, and now I have my background. So I can't scale it, but I can move it around. So even though it's 7680x2160, I can use it on my smaller LED screen. And of course I can clear it. So I can use my same background on my widescreen blend, and I just move the source to where I want it to be. How fun is that? So I said lots and lots and lots of layers here. I'll show you splitting layers in a different video, but that's really cool. But before I leave you on this one, let me just show you, for example. Let's say I want a lot of layers in my blend. Well, heck, let's do it. I'm going to set up 16 layers. Oh, not enough. We'll do 8 layers. So see these screen resource usage here? Essentially, each 4K acts as a screen usage block. So if I have screens left over, I can use those to add more layers. So this LED screen, for example, takes 1 usage block. I have 3 left over. So that means I can use 3 additional. So I can triple this to 12 layers. Actually, I think I can go all the way up to 16. Well, no. Well, let's find out. Hey, I can. So I have 16 4K at 60 mixing layers plus an unscaled background, 8 4K at mixing layers plus an unscaled background. And you see, I just have a ridiculous amount of layers. So if you want to put a whole lot of 4K on screen, well, then rock and roll. So I'm going to make a whole series of videos. Just like I did on E2, I'll break down different workflows, different features, fun things. But I get a lot of tech support calls, people who are sitting in front of Encore3 for the first time, and just want to know how to build screens. So hopefully that gets you up and running. As always, stay tuned for more videos, and happy programming.